This video is about shop floor to top floor information in real time, connecting Microsoft Dynamics AX to Memex's MERLIN manufacturing execution system. Here we see with the machine standards for connectivity ISA 95 standards, where level 4 is the Microsoft Dynamics AX and level 0 is the machine. MERLIN connects level 4 right to level 0 through level 3, 2, and 1. Take production orders from Dynamics and send them right through to MERLIN and send the results right back to Dynamics. Here we're in Microsoft Dynamics and we're taking a look at the particular work orders that are available. If we filter it down to the CEU work orders that we're dealing with, you can see that there's none in the ending in 23, which is what we're going to do now, and create a new production work order. So production order gets established. We create the dialog. We key in the number 23. We then do a search on the particular item ID. We pull that one up directly from one that we want to produce, and it comes up to automatically with the list again through Dynamics AX. Part of the product standards, standard lot size of 5 to run with this one. We create the production order. And now it's part of the list. So we're looking at all production orders. If we filter that down to the ones we're looking for, we're going to find our particular work order that we just created. And there it is, number 23. So we then at this point say, okay, let's estimate this particular work order. What's the cost going to be? Timing, scheduling, and planning. Put that through in terms of Dynamics AX to do that. You'll see the status is now changed to estimated. So we're in a position to start actually processing and manufacturing this particular product. So we then key in on the particular same work order and say, okay, what are we going to do in this stage here? Let's take a look at the routing so we understand what we're working with. And the particular routing is made up of 6 individual operation steps, 10 through 15. We see the runtime associated with each, the stepping operation steps accordingly. We see the resource requirements running on particular machine 102, so we know the resource of each of those particular steps and operations. If we check machine 102, we're now on the MERLIN Dashboard. We're looking at the machine detail for machine 102. We see the current work order is a different one that's running right now because we haven't actually loaded it onto MERLIN at this point. We can see that we're in the job queue. We can see the current running work order. We can see the jobs that are in the queue, again not loaded from Dynamics yet. Take another view in the visual job queue. We look at the actual jobs in the queue, and again for machine 102 those ones aren't there. So now we're going to say, let's actually schedule this particular job to run to Memex MERLIN system. So we say OK. We find the particular job to run. We say OK. And this job is now created and it is sent to the production order electronically to the Memex MERLIN manufacturing execution system. So we see that's there. We push OK and we're fired off to Memex MERLIN. So we'll go take a look and see where it is in Memex at this point, having verified that it wasn't there before. We do have to start the particular job, so we make sure that that's started. We say it's there, so it's ready to run in terms of the status. We obviously have to keep track of it within Dynamics to know exactly what we're working with. You see we're machine 102, you see the current jobs. We refresh the list at this point, and notice all those operation steps are now in the queue ready to be run. It's still running the existing work order that's on the machine, so we haven't asked it to run it yet, but we will shortly. So now we'll check again, just another view in the visual job queue, and again you can see those operation steps are now loaded and ready to be processed. So we then turn around and look at the operator interface, and the operator can actually run multiple machines here. We check the work orders, and there you go. There's the operation steps already loaded with different sequence numbers and so on that we can control. So we say, there you go, 5 parts required. We say accept that work order, and let's actually run that. You'll notice the current running work order will now change, and the new one is up and running for the parts that we're trying to produce. So we're in a view that we can see this. Let's take a look at it at the machine detail screen of the dashboard. We see the new work order that's put together there. It's ready to go. We're synchronizing the main server in terms of detail information. We take a view, we refresh the view of the job queue. We can see what the current running job is as we've loaded. The other ones are still in the queue ready to go. We can see now that the parts have been reset for part counts, so we're tracking status for the job as it is now running on the actual machine. So we see here on the machine it's running 0 parts produced, 5 parts required. We're ready to go. And we can see that the other work orders are still in the queue, ready to go for next ones. And we'll run those as we go forward to process this particular job. We also have the ability to look at many other areas when we're in that particular status of the machines. And now notice we've actually run through to job operation step 15. We had a number of parts produced, so we can see that we've got 3 good parts, 1 reject, and 5 parts required, but 4 parts are made. So we're just about at the end of the cycle here. And we take a look and we see that we have 1 particular reject or scrap reason. If we go down and check the scrap reasons, and here's a particular view that we can see from machine 102. We see the machine, there is a scrap for not applicable. In this particular case, it was picked up by the machines, and we can graphically look at that in different areas, and we know the percentages and pie chart breakdowns, 3Ds, however you want to do, all based upon the good tool set from Microsoft. And we see here that's what we're working with in terms of the dashboard for the actual accounts in itself. Notice we're in production hold. It's just in the process of changing over to the new job. In fact, as we watch here, we can see the job has actually changed over, and we can see the new particular work order is running. So our last one is complete. Let's go report on what we just completed. So we now go into the report writer, and we take a look at the work order that we just produced. We can see that we have much detailed information that we can filter on, a lot of flexibility for reporting, also sorting and subtotaling, many different ways to look at it, filtering by dates and times and calendars. So we go through and take a print preview. We can essentially slice and dice by virtually any types of reporting and data. And we're looking at the OEE summary report for the particular machine 102, the work order that we just ran, and we can see the overall effectiveness. We made 5 parts. We had 1 particular reject. So as we'd reported and we saw earlier on the real-time screens, we now go back to Microsoft Dynamics and we say, let's view for that particular work order what the results were. So what was reported as finished that came from Memex MERLIN. And we can see here we're pulling up the particular lines and the detail for that particular job, and we can see here now that that job has been completed, reported as finished in Dynamics, of a good part of 1 and a reject part of 1 and a good part of 4, exactly as what we reported on the Memex MERLIN system. So we've gone through and shown a 2-way link, downloading production orders to the machines and then the results from the machines back into the Dynamics AX ERP system.